Woo, you guys. So beautiful. Ooh. It is so beautiful out right now, but it's windy. So we're gonna get out and see where we can walk. I will probably have Angus in the pack. He's not gonna be able to manage the snow. It's just too deep and it's drifted. But down here it looks like they got 8 to 10 inches where it didn't drift, 1.5 feet or so where it drifted, and they didn't really plow. Yesterday when we came down, it looked like somebody had plowed. So I wonder, I guess I'll see throughout the winter how that works out. I wouldn't think that they would keep this plowed down here, since I doubt people will really want to be having access to the river once it's frozen. Sometimes the Madison freezes over and gets quite thick with ice, so I don't know. I know on the lakes they ice fish, but I don't think that's a river thing. Obviously I'm not a fisherman. It's so beautiful down here, but the wind is going to be quite chilly. And then I was also talking to Craig yesterday. He's gone for training for the week, but he was worried about me driving the Kia around without four-wheel drive, so maybe I should take the Suburban. When we moved, we hauled something in the Suburban that caused a smell. It's very mildewy and smelly in there. It needs to go be detailed. I'm going to contact someone local for that. It needs to be shampooed and cleaned. I don't know what is going on in there, but I've tried cleaning it and I cannot get the smell out. So anyway, it's not something I want to drive around, but it reminded me, all through high school, I did not have a four-wheel drive car. I didn't have a four-wheel drive vehicle until I graduated and was out on my own, and then I got a little Toyota truck. It was four-wheel drive, little single cab, little Toyota. I loved that truck. That was such a great truck, but my insurance was more every month than my truck payment. That was my first experience having a car payment, and my last. I've never had a car payment since. I learned my lesson, at least in that. I'm a slow learner, but for that I learned quickly. So I was telling Craig, oh my gosh, I did not have four-wheel drive for a long time, and I got around just fine. Now, on roads that are not plowed, I wouldn't test the Kia through very, very deep snow simply because of clearance. I do have pretty good clearance on this for a small car. I'm really happy with it. But I won't try to go off-roading or on some iffy gravel roads. When they stop plowing down here, we'll just park at the top and I'll just walk to the river. We won't try to drive down here. But right now it just is handling all the drifting, and even in our driveway it's drifted quite a bit, and it just drives right through it without any problems. My mom has a little Kia Soul too. That's how I learned about them, and she says she gets around just fine in the winter. She has studded tires. So this winter, for the first time in my life as well, I'm going to get studded tires for my little car. So she always has equated her little runaround cars with studded tires to tree frogs, because they just stick to the road when we've got those studs, especially if it's icy or very cold out. Anyways, the snow gets kind of sticky when it's very cold. The roads get rather sticky, and so when you have studs, you're even more stuck. So I'm very happy about that, and I can't wait to get little studded tires on my car. Apparently I have to get them earlier than I assumed at the beginning of the winter here. Winter doesn't normally set in hard until we usually get snow on Halloween, and sometimes the week before, like we are now, but we don't get super cold until January usually. Sometimes in December, sometimes we don't even have white Christmases. So this year I did read and I did hear, and the Farmer's Almanac all said it was going to be a hard winter. So I am guessing this is just the first of very many, many, many snowstorms. And that brings me to this life choice that I've recently made, in which I no longer have ponies. Let me tell you right now, I'm so grateful for that. I don't have to worry about water freezing, how much food they have, if they have enough wind breaks. It's very windy. How deep the snow is getting out in their pen. Can they get around? Is the hay blowing away? Because when it gets very cold and snowy like this, the hay nets are difficult to use, as the snow and the wind fill up the little spaces between in the hay nets, and they can't get the hay out before it freezes. So feeding ponies in the winter in Montana is a tricky deal, and I'm really glad that I'm not having to worry about that. Molly has shelters, she has windbreaks, she has plenty of hay, she's got 4 ponies, she's got goats. They have company and they can group together and get warm. They have plenty of places they can get out of the weather. I'm not worried at all. She has automatic waterers that do not freeze in the winter, so she's very set up for this. I'm so grateful that she loves those 2 ponies as much as I did. As much as I do, I still love them, and I want to go see them when I can. I'm just so grateful that she has them. Also, that leads me to the fact that I was cozy and snug in my little apartment last night when the landlord was out plowing the driveway. And again this morning, the wind's howling and drifting the snow, and he's out there in his little bobcat clearing out the driveway for me so I can get my Kia out. I'm just so grateful that that's not something Craig has to worry about or something I have to try to figure out while he's gone. He's gone for a week right now, and it's no big deal. It's just me and the dog, snug as a bug in our little apartment, bombing around in our little Kia and doing just great. In the snow and the cold, we just bundle up and we're good to go. And that is such a gift, you guys. After living up where we lived, in the weather that we had to deal with and the roads, and wondering if I went to town if I was going to be able to get back to the house by the time I got home, because the snow would drift over so badly that I couldn't get my 4-wheel drive rig into my driveway without having to shovel for 2 hours. That was my life. This is so much easier. There's so much to be said about simplicity. Put him in the pack. He fits in my coat. And he has his coat on. So we'll go out this way. We're not going far, obviously. But this way he won't have to miss out on our outing. That dog is in his element. Love this snow. Okay, let's go. Some of the snow blew off the trees, looks like. Samson does bookmarking. Pardon him in the video being so gross. He learned that from the coyotes. When we lived up at the other place, we had a lot of coyotes, and they poop up on top of the sage bushes and mark their territory that way. So that's what he does now. So attractive. It's deep right here. how different it looks in here with the trees all falling down, being pressed down by the snow. Now, I'm 100% aware there are bears down here. So we aren't going any further because I don't know where they hole up during storms like this. But to me, this looks like a really nice place to lay low. So we're not gonna venture deep in there. You can see Samson in there. Plus, this is the trail. It goes right through here, and I can see that there's more trees and stuff, but down in there. Shake them loose. Ooh, popped right up, look at that. Shaking some of that snow off. He's good. We'll just crawl through here really quick. It is pretty in here. Samson. Samson. Okay, go. Trees to carry around. So pretty in there. It's like a fairy forest. Angus is in no way thrilled about this. Winter coat. Okay, Samson. Snowballs on his legs. Temperature says 29, but that's without a wind chill. I'm guessing we're down around 10 or so with the wind chill. It's quite cold. That was fun, but very cold. The wind just won't let up. That's normal for here. So that is the beginning of winter in Montana. Just a little tour of it. It's kind of interesting to see how flexible the bushes and the trees are with the snow on their limbs, and how being flexible is detrimental to them surviving. If they weren't flexible, if they tried to stay tall and stiff and hold all that extra weight, they would break. And then when I shook that snow off, they just bounced right back up. It's just, I think, a good metaphor for life, as we see all the time. Be a tree, be flexible in the wind, but strong. Flexible, but strong. That's true. Being able to stay flexible through change is the only thing that has kept me sane. And I will tell you what, I hate change. I hate it. I always have anyway. It has caused me so much stress in my life, and yet here I am, just navigating through. And really, I feel like it hasn't been that hard. A few times it's been kind of stressful. I've cried a little here and there, but mostly I've just been able to roll with it, and I'm so grateful for that. I wondered, there's a moose across the river. I wondered because Samson is sure smelling. You see him? Her? There's a moose. Samson was smelling and smelling there by the river's edge. I figured it was a good time to go. I just spotted the ears over there. It's the first moose I've seen down here. Though I have suspected they were here, how could they not be? That is not something you want to run into on the trail. They are extremely aggressive. Especially if they have babies. That's fun though. I'm glad we saw that. That's pretty cool. Okay. This is the boat ramp into the river for the fishermen. This is the boat dock area. And then usually all these spaces are filled with trucks and boat trailers. Filled up. It's a really nice area they have. To the right, there's a whole nother space I'll show you. Down here, there's a whole nother parking lot. And little road here. It's just a really nice spot. And the campsite is further on down the gravel road, and it is also really nice. It has really nice garbage cans at each site for bears, bear-proof garbage cans, and a public bathroom. This one has 2 public restrooms down here and water. It's just a really nice area. We're so lucky to live just down the road. I have to say, I'm relieved it was a moose and not a bear we saw. Every time I'm down here, I'm just like, I hope we don't run into a bear. And I also do think about running into a moose. I'll say that. I have thought about, there's no place to go if you're on the trail and you run into a moose, because of course they don't mind the water. There's no trees. It's kind of worrisome. We'll be extra careful from now on. Fewer people most likely means more animals will be down here from now on. Sorry. Slip sliding around. Somebody went off the road over there. Glad that was not me. The one thing you do not want to do, gun it when you're going through the snow like that, because you can't steer. So you need to kind of go nice and easy and not get your wheel spinning. That's the trick. So you can continue to steer through those drifts and kind of where it gets slick. But even people with four-wheel drive always think you gotta gun it, bust through the drifts. That's why they go off the road. Something interesting. The county road workers, which are the county employed plow drivers in Madison County, don't work on holidays or the weekends. So if you live on a county road in Madison County, it will not get plowed on Saturday and Sunday, no matter the weather. They don't come out. This is a U.S. highway. So this is plowed by Montana State. It's a state-run highway. They plow all the time. Week-round, holidays, everything. They have to keep the highways open. So the highways will be plowed on weekends and holidays. And that really confuses people because they think the highways are the same as the county roads, and they're not. They're two different situations in this state, probably in every state, but especially in this state. So state highways will be cleared and plowed by the state plows. Government-run plows. County will not. Looks like they need to come down here. That was kind of rough right there. So the snow just blows over and blows big drifts across the highway and creates quite a mess. Private roads in Montana, of course, are not kept clear by anybody except people on the private roads. This is a driveway, so the homeowner plows this with his little bobcat. He's been out several times in the last 2 days. So any private road you live on will not be taken care of except for by the HOA that you pay your dues to. And if you have no one to plow in your private roads, they will not be plowed. That's what we ran into where we lived. He wants his coat off. You want your coat off?